So, good morning, Sunday date students. Now, I shall continue with Mr. Bertram Wooster's practice of his banjolele, the instrument which he loves to play, and what happens during his practices. So, during his practices, he doesn't like anybody to disturb him because he had a bitter experience. When he was performing, he was criticized by the other band members that he needs to master this instrument. Now, in order to master anything, you need vigorous practice. You have to practice very hard. Okay, for any kind of competition or any kind of thing which you want to achieve, you got to labor very, very hard towards it. But during his practices, suddenly there was a banging of the door, or the door just opened, and there he found his butler, a servant, Mr. Jeeves, had entered, looking very upset because he knows that when the master is practicing, nobody should disturb, and a gentleman is forcing his entry into the room. So when he comes to know, it was Sir Roderick Glossop, the person who has been interfering in his personal life, and once before he was supposed to get engaged to Roderick Glossop's daughter Honoria, and that was called off. And then when he was interfering, now he broke off the engagement of Pauline Stoker also, and he wanted to speak to Bertram Wooster. So Bertram Wooster misunderstood. He felt that Sir Roderick Glossop has been very rude, spoke to me in a very unpolite manner. Maybe he has realized his mistake, so he wants to apologize, tell me sorry. So that is the reason why he was looking forward to meet me and speak to me. Though he had disturbed him while he was practicing, Bertram Wooster doesn't like anyone disturbing him while he's practicing. But since Sir Roderick Glossop had come, so he assumed. So he had assumed that most probably that I definitely know that Mr. Glossop has come to apologize to me. And though he was angry with him, but he decided that I would try my best to at least be gentle and polite towards Roderick Glossop. Now, since he's come to say sorry or apologize to me, I think I should, what do you call, forgive him. So, that is the way now, though he was annoyed for somebody disturbing him, but he swallowed his anger. So, no, sir, since Roderick Glossop has come to apologize, I must also be very gentle and polite. In the interval which had elapsed since I had first been apprised of the man's desire to have speech with me, I had been thinking things over, and the only conclusion to which I should come was that he must have had a change of heart of some nature and decided that an apology was due to me for the way he had behaved. It was therefore a somewhat softened Bertram Wooster who now rose to do the honors. So he has understood that he has come to tell me sorry. Now he's come to my house, so let me welcome him. Do the honors means pay him my due respect. Ah, Sir Roderick, I said, good morning. In a very cheerful and he knows that he has come to say sorry. Nothing could have exceeded the courtesy with which I had spoken. So nobody would have misbehaved the way I had spoken to him. Conceive of my astonishment, he says, to my surprise. I was shocked. Therefore, when his only reply was an indubitably unpleasant grunt, at that I felt that my diagnosis of the situation had been wrong. So all this while, he said, I was thinking that Sir Roderick Glossop wants to speak to me. Perhaps he wants to tell me sorry. So now he has got an opportunity. He has come to New York City. So he's making it a point to meet me and tell me sorry. And I should also forget all my anger and grievances against him. And I shall also behave in a very gentle and polite manner with him. But when I told him good morning, my God, he didn't seem to be too happy. He looked very angry. And all my assumption, thinking that this man has regretted and he's feeling sorry of being rude towards me, but now see the way he's talking. He says, here was no square shooting apology. He did not come here to say sorry. The way he was thinking, he was trying to make it like as if he understood that Sir Roderick Glossop has come to tell him sorry. He says, but no. He couldn't have been glaring at me with more obvious distaste if I had been the germ of dementia precox. So, but the way he looked at me, he did not look at me in a very pleasant or in a friendly manner. You could see hatred or anger towards me, as if I was suffering from some dementia precox. Now, dementia precox means as if I had been suffering from some mental disorder, as if I am a mad person. That is the way he looked at me, in a very angrily and in a hatred manner. Well, if that was the attitude he was proposing to adopt, so if that is the way he was going to treat me, I meant to say my geniality, says my gentleness and politeness also began to diminish, began to fade away. So now I'm not going to treat him in a very respectable manner. Okay. I drew myself up coldly. So I prepared myself to see what this man has to tell me. At the same time, raising a stiff eyebrow, and I was just about to work off the old. To what am I indebted for this visit gag, whom he chipped in ahead of me? He says, now the way he was behaving, I would want to know what was the cause or what was the reason that this man has come into my house. I thought he came to tell me sorry, but it looked like as if he's come, in a very angry manner, as if I have done something very wrong. So I also had to prepare myself for the counter attack. Now, this man, I thought I would be gentle and polite, but now he seems to be very boisterous, very arrogant. So I have to prepare myself for the same. You ought to be certified. He says, you ought to means you got to be very careful. I beg your pardon. He didn't understand what he meant. Remember, he thought he's come to say sorry, but now he's saying, I've come to warn you. You're a public menace. You are a disturbing element in the public. Now, this is the accusation, the blame. What Sir Roderick Glossop is blaming Mr. Bertram Wooster, that you are a public menace. For week it appears you have been making life a hell for all your neighbors with some hideous musical instrument. He says, now I've come to know that you are disturbing your neighbors and making life miserable or making life a hell for them by playing some kind of stupid instrument, and you are disturbing them. I see you have it with you now. Oh, I can see, because remember, Bertrand Wooster was practicing when Sir Roderick Glossop saying, oh, I see. So this is the instrument that you are disturbing the people. How dare you play the thing in a respectable block of flats? So how dare that you are playing this instrument in where respectable people are living in this flat. So here Sir Roderick Glossop did not come to tell Bertram Wooster sorry. He had come to chastise him, to warn him that he is a disturbing element by playing that banjo lele for hours and hours and hours and disturbing the entire people. The whole lot was being disturbed. So he's come to warn him that you better control yourself and you better be on your best behavior and don't stop. Don't disturb respectable people who are living in the flats or in the blocks around. He says, you are a public menace. And by you playing for hours and hours with that stupid instrument of yours, so that is why he calls it a hideous musical instrument. Okay. Then he says, infernal din. Infernal din means that instrument gives a very unpleasant sound. But the way he said infernal din, it appeared as if he is abusing him, using a wrong word for him. So that is why he says infernal din. I remained cool and dignified. He says, I had to remain cool and dignified because this man has come to my house. And I don't want to be rude towards him. But the word infernal din means something unpleasant. Okay. But it appears as if he is being abused. So I shall keep it till here. And then in the next video, I shall complete the lesson. Okay. Thank you. And do not forget, today is your class test. Read the poetry, read the notes I've given, and please watch the videos based on Ode to Autumn. You may get questions coming up from there. Thank you.